in June, it's the 5th anniversary of signing the famous Prespa agreement. So, as somebody who is in charge of strategy of an organization dedicated to stimulate the European, let's say, debate, what would be your suggestion how to restart the idea about European future in our country?
I think, you put it really well, Borjan, that it's a case of asking for people to be patient at a level and a basis which is unjustified. It's an unfulfilled promise to leaders of the Western Balkans, and who, like in North Macedonia, did so much to fulfill the promise, and yet they're still left where they were and where they have been. And I think there's a palpable sense amongst leaders and ambassadors from the Western Balkans that, is it really worth it any longer? Now, from our perspective, what we're trying to do is we're calling this a new Balkan journey. Accession is treated as an exam. It's a game of who's the fittest to join the club. It's about meritocracy. It doesn't seem to come across as if it's about values and the European project. And each of the Balkan states have reciprocated. They've followed suit. And what we believe should happen is that, good democracy, good governance, independent justice system, keeping young people with skills and abilities in the region, making sure women get empowered to get proper jobs, and making sure you digitalize your economies and create an internal economy should be good for the Western Balkans regardless. So I think the debate should be restarted rather than from a point of view of glass half empty, each of the Balkan countries, to collaborate, unite, and actually say glass half full. And we will do this regardless, rather than leaders fulfilling an administrative book and jumping through hoops. Because when we think about it, at the end of the day, look at Poland and Hungary in the EU club, as well as others. You wouldn't say that they meet the values of the European Union.
It looks like that, yes, you're right.
Yet, all of you are being treated in a way that is unfair. I think it's unjust. And actually, at one level, I think it's unethical. And the reason why I say that is that accession has been interpreted as a policy objective, as I said, to simply about enlargement. Whereas from our perspective, the way we change the debate is about saying, how do you extend the European project? This beautiful idea that came about to say, we will never do this again. We will never have war again in the way that we have witnessed it. And we'll create a union. We'll create an internal market, but fundamentally, it'll be human rights, universal rights that underpin us, and we'll extend the project. And we've seen it extended. The mistake, the strategic mistake that's been made by the European Union, and I have to say by the successive commissioners, and I'll say this absolutely bluntly, successive commissioners being in charge of enlargement haven't really got a grip of the potential and the opportunity of the Western Balkans. And we are now today left with the consequences of that short-sightedness. And now, the Ukraine situation.
Instead of dealing with the, let's say, values, you maybe have to deal with the problems again in the region, having in mind that those unfulfilled promises open a huge space for a populist and nationalist that remind us from the very ugly period of late 80s and beginning of 90s in what happened back then in former Yugoslavia. So what now? Because, I'm not sure that on the next electoral round, the pro-European agenda will be so popular as it used to be.